Hello YouTube, this is your friend Matthew, or on YouTube, I go by the name of Explore. So I'm just going to be doing a little review in my bug out bag, or my survival backpack, or my camping backpack, or my adventure backpack, whatever you want to call it. I just want to show you what I have at the moment. I updated my bag for the cold, for winter and the fall. In my reservation, where I like to do all my outdoor stuff, it started snowing, so I kind of updated the bag a little bit. So let's dive right in. Let's start with food. So here we have my fold-up stove. It fits perfectly in one of these pouches here on the inside, just in the zipper lining right there. I like to put this, pardon me. I like to put the stove in here, I don't know if you can see that, in my little zip-up compartment. In here. It fits nicely because it folds. And in these things, these are oil canisters. It's got a little string in it, filled with oil. I'll show you that here for a sec. So inside this canister is a bunch of oil, and it's got a little wick coming out of it. And you can maybe cook something, depending on what you're cooking, or boiling water, maybe 5, 7, 8 times. I like these things personally, and I think personally this is something you should have in your kit for winter or cold survival. If not, then if you're a little more fancier than I am, you can use one of those jet boils, or you can. If you're more hardcore than I am, you can use flint and steel or make your own fire. But I like these because it's a cool thing to have for an emergency in case you're stuck out there and you need to actually have a little fire to warm your hands and whatnot. And yeah, I think it's cool. And for food, I got Chunky's, Primer vegetables, and Campbell's vegetable beef. You know, because I know when you're out there, you got to keep yourself warm. So I bought soup and whatnot. And in this food pack, I got 3 packets of cup of soup, because you always got to keep your body warm, 2 packets of instant coffee, and a bag of wraps for carbs. If you're walking in the bush out there all times, you got to eat really heavy to keep your strength up. I personally like to hunt small games like rabbits and chickens. Maybe hunt a chicken or rabbit, skin it, get the meat off, and mix it with the rice. I've done that before, but with a chicken. I just found it out there, shot it with a 22, and I cooked it right then in the tin foil. And yeah. And for utensils, I have this for my coffee and my cups of soup. This is from the dollar store. I personally like it because it's like full metal, and I just think it looks really cool. And I got another tool from the dollar store, this little hobo tool, which I kind of like. It's got a spoon, it's got a fork, and it's got a typical Swiss Army stuff. It's from the dollar store. Personally, I don't think you need high-end like tactical and survival gear to have fun out there. I just learned that the term military grade is actually a marketing tactic. Military grade actually means any cheap material that will get the job done. And yeah. So anyways, I just think you don't really need like expensive stuff to have fun out there or to survive or to bug out. As long as it gets the job done, then you should be good. Next to the water, I have this, my military canteen. Keep in mind, I'm probably hypocritical a little bit. Whatever. I had this for 5 years now, 4 years, this canteen. There used to be a store called Supply Sergeant here in Edmonton, Alberta, in West Edmonton Mall, but the House of Knives killed them. But it's fine. So in here, this pouch, I also have a canteen. If you saw my other videos, right? I like to keep it because you always got to have some type of container on you, and I like cooking with that thing. I put that actually on there sometimes. That military canteen that I have, that little container. I'll just show you really quick. So here, and in there is my canteen. It's kind of wet, but I should dry that out. But yeah, I like putting that on there in boiling water for my coffee, my teas, or my soups, or just for boiling water for whatever, because I'm weird like that. I don't know. I don't do that, but whatever. And moving on to other things. My favorite type of shades, my Spy Logans. I just found, I was given these by an uncle, but I searched online. They're actually almost $90, $100. But I like them. They're my favorite. And for this, emergencies, I got the Sol Bivy. This costs a lot of money, but I think this is a good purchase. I like helping people, so in case I'm with somebody and they go into something that needs to make them lie on the ground, say someone gets injured, you put them in the recovery position, you can put that on them. Or if I'm out and about and I need a blanket in my shelter or whatever, wrap that around me or around my dogs. Now, for those who know first aid, you probably know what the recovery position is. So I like to have that just in case I need to put someone in that position and put that over them until help arrives. And moving on to my weapons. This is the only thing I have. the CRKT M1614SF. This is the best knife I think I've ever owned. It's got a tanto point, and according to my favorite YouTuber, Budget Bugout, you can actually stab these in car hoods. I may test that out one day, but I believe him. And it's got a serrated edge, aluminum frame, and I forgot what the black part thing was called. But no, it's got a cool interlocking system. You pull down this thing, push this to the side like a normal knife, and it locks pretty well. And these things allow for quick access. And when you pull this thing up, the red thing goes up, and it's locked, and it turns into a fixed blade. So 10 out of 10, love this knife. Special Forces knife. And I'm just a wannabe, so. Now moving on to, I'll go to the pouches last. These, I have this just for extra knowledge. I don't read this as much. I also have the app on my phone. I only have this in case I need to read it when I'm actually out there. I think this book is waterproof because it feels like wax sometimes. And yeah, handy thing to have. And this thing, for all my survival enthusiast experts, you know what this is. The Ride in the Rain Tactical Notebook, all weather. It's rain resistant, it's wax paper, so you can write with this thing underwater actually. And I got my little pen from Superstore. I like it, it's a zebra pen. Now, moving on to first aid kit. I bought this a long time ago, but I had to repurpose it. Let me just open that for you. I had to refill this myself. I put a bunch of antiseptic wipes in there, bandages, gauze, band-aids, wraps. I had to find stuff around the house. And I had to give my other first aid kit to my work site as for my new job because we didn't have one and somebody cut their finger. So yeah, I donated that and just gathered whatever first aid stuff I found around the house. So always have first aid, doesn't matter what it is. A little knowledge goes a long ways, as I'm always hearing from all my favorite YouTubers and those who like to go outdoors. And just for sleeping, I have this. For sleeping, I have this. If I'm ever stuck outside in the bush or from bushcrafting, I like to make lean-tos out there. And I rely on the foliage actually to keep me warm. My plan was actually to warm a bunch of rocks and then lay this out on top of the rocks and sleep on that, all being covered with pine needles. And my dogs, because they like to follow me and they never leave my side, especially that one dog, Badass. So yeah, have this, mix that with that, you got the perfect combo. Now, moving on to the pouches. Let's start with that little one. I keep mainly my tools in here. So I keep mainly this my tools. I used to have all this stuff all scattered throughout my bag, all the little items, but I kept losing them. So I thought it'd be best if I try to compact everything into kits. So here I have my Smith's knife sharpener. It's got a diamond rod if you want to sharpen big blades. It's got a fine edge for the blade and coarse for serrated. Good tool to have, recommend, good investment, $20 at Cabela's. Let me just open this all the way. Use my teeth. So in here, I have one of my favorite tools of all time, the CRKT Eden tool. It's got a screwdriver on it, these thingies, and it's like a spork. I think this is a can opener. I've tried to open stuff with it, but I can't. This is a spork and a spoon. So if you love camping, if you're hiking, if you're in the army, if you mountain bike, if you know, a backpacker, this is the best tool I have. I highly recommend, 10 out of 10. And I have a small roll of duct tape, a small little button compass in there, and a wire saw. I think the wire saw is junk, but you never know when you need it, right? Personally, I think those little survival kits that you buy are just rubbish and garbage, but, you know, if that's what you like and you know how to use them, then go ahead, right? So I only got stuff in my bag that I know how to use. I grew up in the woods I kind of grew up in the woods a little bit with my father. And I got all my knowledge from him and from friends. And I grew up in the Army Cadets, but that's not really a boast, but whatever. And moving on to that pouch. That's my water, tool, and fire pouch. Now let's go on the outside. This thing is a cheap little thing. I forgot where I bought this, but I think I bought this at Comics Hobby, so it's kind of weird. On the outside, I like to keep a paracord bracelet. I bought this at the House of Knives. That's also where I got that thing, and that's the same shop that killed Supply Sergeant because that's where people buy all the knives. Moving on, this paracord bracelet I keep with the extra paracord and rope. It's got a whistle on it. It's got a flint and steel, and it's got a button light. See? Wait. Doesn't want to work. Anyways, got a whistle, flint rod and steel in between the buckle there. Good for fire making. I actually want to test it out and see if it works. If not, then I'm probably just going to have it just for a, outdoorsman's fashion statement, as some like to call it. In here, you can hold a phone and a pen, but I don't do that because you can wreck the phone very easily if you're going outside. I think I used to wear this actually when I was working night security. I'd put this on my belt and just have stuff in it. And here, the small pouch, I keep my Sawyer Mini. I think having some type of water filter on you is mandatory, as I'm still trying to learn how to filter water naturally, but I don't think that's possible, unless you guys want to correct me. And in here, I keep snare wire for fishing line. I actually know how to set these. I grew up doing this with my father. It's actually easy to do in the winter, which is why I also have this in there too. For hunters and trappers, you know how to do that, so I don't gotta explain it to you. But basically is you make a notch about like that, and you make it kind of like a loop. So the rabbit, if you follow the trail in the snow, they'll get their neck caught in that, and this thing will tighten as they try to escape and choking them to death, and you can eat it. So yeah, like I said, I only put stuff in here that I know how to use, not stuff that I don't know how to use. So got that in there. Got extra rope, just for whatever. Got me a survival candle. And I just got a new flint and rod steel with a whistle and the button compass. 2 lighters and 2 matches at the bottom. 2 match boxes at the bottom, that's about it. And yeah, that's all I have in my survival kit, or my outdoor bag. I like to change what I put in there depending on the season. The next thing I want to put in here actually is maybe a tarp. And I want to buy a hatchet or a tomahawk for cutting down trees, right? Other than that, that's all what I keep in my bag for my winter. I use always my 511, I think it's 72-hour rush. No, 32-hour rush. So yeah, this is what I like to use. And this is also what I actually carry when I'm in my reserve in the countryside. So yeah, if you got any questions, please put it in the comment section below. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm new at this, and like I said, I enjoy this. And yeah, thank you for watching.